Hello again and welcome. This is Modern American Gangster, and this is a news and current events. Today is August 1st, 2025. We got a lot to cover, we got a lot going on, so let's just get into it. So, the biggest thing so far is that there's a lot of song and dance going on, trying to get people to think things might be going a different way. Okay, but we can see it as awake and aware people being the exact same as it has been for the last 10, 15 years, which really more to 150 years, but we're not going to get into that. There's a lot going on the surface of what's going on. So they had some giant 8.9 magnitude earthquake that caused this big tsunami throughout Russia and Japan and all this stuff, big tsunami. And it was kind of a dud of an event. The problem with these dud events is that when the real shit happens, people aren't going to believe you that anything is happening. You look at the models for this tsunami warning, and it all makes a little bit more sense if everything was flat. What causes these tsunamis can travel hundreds and hundreds of miles, flooding out the areas. There's also been zero arrests, zero accountability, zero restored faith, or any kind of leaning that the government is working to help us, because they're not. That's part of one of these big awakenings, is awakening to the fact that there is no government in the history of civilization that has been put in place to help the people. Government is there to control people. Okay, now if you didn't have government in your life telling you what you can and can't do, how is anyone ever going to know what not to do? That's where Jesus Christ and the golden rule and all this stuff comes in. Because I don't need laws telling me what I can and can't do. I know what I can and can't do because I know there is a bigger plan going on here. We're slowly understanding this, and we're slowly moving towards the reawakening of Jesus Christ within our realm. And it is happening, and you can see it. Every single pro-Zionist Jewish person, Christian Zionist people, they all will turn their back and not look at the most horrific act that have ever been recorded on media. And they'll say, hey, that's no big deal. We're Christian Zionists. They have to do anything they can to defend their Israel. And this gets people to question things more and more. So if these Jewish people are so chosen, and they are chosen by God especially, but they hate Christians, they hate Jesus Christ, they don't want anything to do with being told no by God. And this is what's going to really awaken people to the how evil and satanic the Jews are, is how much they hate Jesus and Christians. So this is why this anti-Semitism is really building and building and building. And it's going to hit a point of no return where any pro-Israel Jewish ideas are going to get you labeled very quickly as opposition. You are in opposition to Jesus Christ and the force of Christ around this realm. We're all going to reawaken, and it's going to happen very quickly. It should make people think, how did we ever get into these wars when supposedly England and the colonies are all Christians? And the North and the South are Christians, and Europe are Christians. And it's all just Christians fighting Christians with Jews at the top. And once people figure this out, they're not going to do any more wars. Now, when they do not have people to fight in their wars, the next step is cloning people to fight in their wars. Now, we can see that if they need an army by 2030 and the people aren't going to fight, the white Christian people are not going to fight, and they're not going to get the Muslims and the black and brown people to fight, the next option is cloning a fighting force, which history repeats. Most likely, this is what happened in our class resets: is cloned armies following the programming of their masters, doing the bidding of their masters, and further pulling civilization away from Christ and God and politically what's right and wrong. All these things, it kind of all goes together. Now, I'm working on a new documentary. I've been working on it now for like a month and a half. Just I get ready to record it, I get it all done, and then I think of something else I should add to it. Because eventually it's going to turn into a big of what really happened. When anyone tries to tell you, well, the official NPC general public version of our history is X, Y, and Z, you can open this book and you'll be able to debunk all of their claims with pictures and evidence very quickly. That's why this information is so important, why they fear this information so much. Because they know they are lying. They know their black goo artificial intelligence rewrote the historical record and created all these fabrications to explain our world so that you do not question anything and you work, 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 work. And the second you stop working, and you start to look into this stuff, it's very obvious they're lying. And the people who will ridicule you and say, oh, here we go, another conspiracy person, they've not looked at any of the evidence. Because even if you didn't believe our claims or the claims that I'm making, it should at least make you question their version of reality when there's so many contradictions that they don't even want to address. Like the mud flood, like Tartaria, like this corporate interest, corporate entity of the United States, the birth certificate stuff. It's the bank account. Your birth certificate is a certificate of manifest, and all these things should make anyone who actually can think question things and have multiple questions that never will be answered. They'll tell you to stop talking. They'll delete you. They do not want to answer any of your questions or any of the information that you can provide to them could make a normal person question things. So this new documentary, What Really Happened, going to be really big. Now, the bigger I think something's going to be, the less people watch it and view it. It puts all the pieces together, and I would love. See, this is the problem with all of my work. Everyone will tell you, yeah, yeah, whatever, you're just a conspiracy person. But not a lot of debunking any of this information. Whether it's the Black Goo documentary or the human cloning, there's not a lot of people who can debunk your claims or the claims we're making about the Neuro Aero Club and the National Zionism Nazis were National Zionists. And what was really going on with this Operation Paperclip and the Roswell crash and Operation High Jump, what Israel is all about. All these things that we've been talking about for years now, no one seems to debunk them, and they don't want to watch it or look at it because it will force them to have to make a stand within their own consciousness. Questioning things forces you to live in a different reality. And if you start to question the reality provided to you by them, then everything falls apart very quickly. And this is why when you see people who are conspiracy theory people, they really just stay in their lane, whatever conspiracy theories they're into. If it's the JFK assassination, they only will look at the JFK assassination. If they're 9/11 people, they only look into 9/11. If they're chemtrail people, they only look into chemtrails. Nobody steps back to get the wider view of what is going on and how conspiracy theories, JFK, if they all link together, it would have to make you question reality. And they all do fit together because they're perpetrated by the same groups. The big thing is people don't know why they're doing this. But when you understand how big this false reality we live in truly is, it makes a lot more sense that everything has to go together into one cohesive theory, which explains everything, the other version of our reality. And that's what we have been studying, researching, piling all this data and information together in order to get people to understand how everything goes together, forming a new version of our reality. And that is a very important thing. It is a powerful weapon against anyone trying to force vaccines on you, carbon tax, carbon credits, all this stuff that they're forcing on you. Smart cities, smart technology. When you figure all this out, their game very quickly falls apart because all the conspiracy claims could be debunked very easily if it were factual and the story happened the way it happened. And they can't debunk anything. They can't understand why the dinosaur bones that are 100 million years old are buried here and the buildings are buried down here. How does that happen? Well, we designed I mean, it doesn't make any sense when you start getting into it. And people, you either look at this information, you accept this information, and you move forward, or you don't look at this information and you just move forward and do whatever they tell you. So it's very interesting. This documentary is coming out. I'm getting close to recording it. I'm super, super busy with all these projects I'm working on. I mean, it's already August, and the summer is more than half over. And it's just like I was just prepping my garden. Seems like 2 weeks ago, and it's already coming through. It's very, time is moving so fast. There's not a lot of time you can grab from because you're grasping at straws to get all this shit done by the end of the day. I don't know how people who work regular jobs even survive. There's like no time to get your laundry done, get all this stuff done. Time just moves so fast. Now, other information I wanted to touch on is my Patreon. I've got tons of stuff on Patreon if you're interested. Go over and subscribe on Patreon. I just put all of my music catalog on Patreon for the paid members, or you can buy the online digital album for $10. And it's got all my songs, like 24 songs. Now, they're not all great, but out of 24, 18 of these songs are like, "Ooh, they really hit the nail on the head." I was talking about all this stuff back in 2010 and 2012. I was making all this music, exposing all this stuff. My music on n1m.com, it's like a music site, just hit 200,000 plays. So whether they're bots, this I don't know what's going on, but it just seems like I can't get enough wind under my wings to take flight. It's always just like a chicken trying to fly or something. It's just, I can't get off the ground with any of this information. So on my Patreon, all my music is up there. And if you can, give it a listen because I think it's really gritty and raw. It answers all the questions. And it's just, it really it is like an amazing thing to listen and go, man, I made all these songs 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they still are current and relevant today. It's really amazing when you listen to it, and I just go, wow, can't believe it. So if you want, check out the Modern American Gangster music on Patreon. I've also added more gaming clips. I don't know how many people are into gaming, but I added a couple tutorial videos to get people to understand the kind of games I play. There is a new news and current events best of clips volume 4 on Patreon. I'll probably release that to Rumble next week or something sometime. Um, I got a lot of new things coming. I've got a lot of fun, funny ideas of skits and stuff to do coming up. Mr. Saccavello content is going to come back, but I've been so busy for the last 2 weeks trying to compile all this information, researching World War One, researching the 20s and the 1870s, and just re-going over the information and compiling it, getting the best versions together, create this new documentary I'm working on. So please go over to Patreon, subscribe at Tier 1. I think you're going to be impressed and you're not going to be let down. It's got a lot of the audio version, so like the volume 4 best of news and current events, there's like an audio version you can download. It's like 3 hours long. But I was listening to it at the store this morning, and it's like, wow, yeah, I like everything that this guy is saying. This is the kind of stuff that I want to say. And it's just a really amazing, cool thing to check out. All right. Next, there is an announcement of $600 refund rebate checks that they're trying to approve through Congress to get Americans an extra $600. Wow. I'm glad you've made hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars off these tariffs and the Doge savings and the all this money they're making. And we're going to get $600. And then case closed. That's it. We gave you 600 bucks. You could be happy. Not understanding that we still haven't been compensated for this COVID shit that you ran us through and all the other stuff you've jammed down our throats and extorted our money and the Federal Reserve people stole all of our wealth. Hundreds of trillions of dollars these people have stolen, keeping us on oil and gas, keeping us on this grid, and just extorting us for our lives, and they're going to give you $600. If you gave people $600 a week, it would take hundreds of years to get our money back. And this is just same old fucking Trump Republican bullshit. They're helping out their party. They're not fucking helping out anyone. They're not helping you at all. Now, this Russia stuff is back in the headlines. Hillary Clinton and Obamagate, Russia, Obama, Russia, Trump and Russia collusion and Russia. People aren't understanding that they invented this Russia, Russia, Russia shit to cover up the Pizzagate stuff. Pizzagate was becoming a very big thing, much like Epstein is today. And they came out with all this Russiagate stuff as a way of to deflecting away from Hillary Clinton, Podesta, Obama, Joe Biden, Pelosi, all these people and their Pizzagate shit. Where now Trump is doing the exact same thing to deflect from Epstein. No one will ever get arrested. There's going to be no arrest. There's no accountability because of the level of corruption and the false reality idea of the government is here to help us. They're not here to help us. They've never helped us. They are more concerned with foreign invaders from other countries than they are the homeless veterans who fought and died in these wars for Israel. He couldn't give a fuck less if you're homeless and dying. If you're going to help Javier and Consuela and all these other people, they're not helping you. It's very obvious. And it's just like now they're going to give you $600 to shut the fuck up. $600 isn't anything, dude. You should be given $6,000 if you're trying to buy off people's silence to keep from talking about how you and Epstein were fucking best buds and all that shit. It's like you go back in time and Trump had nothing to do with Epstein because they're trying to silence Pizzagate stuff. And now they're coming out and Trump and Epstein were best friends, but not Bill Clinton and Bill Gates and all these other people who went to this island and did all this disgusting stuff. Oh, it's just Trump and Epstein were best buds together. It's so low IQ. Like that's perfect for the general public people. Just think. They can be programmed with sound bites when every TV channel says the same thing. Russia collusion, Russia collusion. They all just then repeat Russia collusion. There's no proof, there's no evidence. You think if you were working with a foreign government, that'd be treason and you'd be executed. Well, let's not get too crazy here because 98% of the government is being paid by a foreign government, which is Israel. And, we don't want to get too crazy because if you did execute somebody for being a traitor for Russia, you would have to look in the mirror at Israel. And that reminds me of the Robert Hansen FBI traitor who was working with Russia and blah, 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 blah. But not one person who takes bribes from Israel will ever be held to account. Nancy Pelosi makes $417 million off of insider trading and stock trading. That's okay because she's an ally to Israel. Anyone who's an ally to Israel, they can pretty much just do whatever they want, get away with whatever they want, and nothing ever happens to bring justice to the people. And I just keep thinking, man, it's just the years are going by, the summers are going by, the time just goes by. 2018 feels like just a year or two ago, and it's just, you cannot keep track of how fast things are going. And this is almost like biblical end times. The days become the nights become the weeks become the months, and it's just a blink of an eye, a month goes by. I was just doing my 4th of July special with Mr. Saccavello, and it's just that was a month ago. Now we're on to August, then we're going to be on to September. My birthday is in September, and it's just that goes by, and then, well, now it's Halloween, and then Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then, well, 2026. What's going on now? I mean, it just goes so fast. And people are just so busy working, working, working to barely scrape by. They don't see how pointless everything is and why we need a revolution of consciousness in order to overthrow these demonic evil people. So then, what else? We had Ozzy Osbourne died, and Hulk Hogan died. So I wasn't a really big Ozzy fan because he's kind of a satanic kind of guy. I'm not really into that. But Hulk Hogan was legit. And we do miss Hulk Hogan. He was one of the greatest dudes ever, brother. What you gonna do, dude? I loved it. I love watching the old videos and the old wrestling videos. It sucks. There's no way out, and a lot of these people took the vaccine, or they're in contact with people who took the vaccine. And the getting from the vaccine gets in everybody, and it's just, we're being depopulated and exterminated. And it's just no one wants to accept that if Jews who are exterminating you, they don't want to be mean, so they just, why would the Jews stop exterminating you? You're too fucking dumb to call out what they did with these vaccines. And all the amount of people with health problems and all this stuff. I didn't get the vaccine. I didn't get any of the PCR testing. I didn't get shit. And I'm supposed to be mad that you took it and are dumb and are dying now. I'm sorry that you took it. You should be the one who's fucking super pissed. You killed your fucking people off. You're murdering people and committing genocide. There's been zero accountability. No one's been arrested. Dr. Fauci's still walking around, Bill Gates, all these people. And now giant 45% of the population is dying from some kind of myocarditis, super cancer, all these problems that clots and all this shit. And they just will not admit that these people tricked you. And the only people still talking about it are the people who didn't get vaccinated. It's like we should move on. If they don't give a fuck that they took it and are dying and sick, why the fuck do we care? I don't give a fuck that any of these retards eat shit. You know, it's a Jew jab plot shot. And they've been doing this with vaccines forever, and no one has caught on yet. It's just, I don't know. I think we all need to move on from the vaccines. If the people who took it want to get upset, then we'll support that. But it just makes us look bad. And we're trying to help these people who don't even give a fuck about helping themselves at all. They would not do anything to help themselves. They won't read a book. They won't watch a video. It's just sports, 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 sports. MTV, movies, the next Fantastic Four. I mean, they just recycle the same shit over and over and over again. The next Batman movie, another Batman, another Spider-Man movie. Now we're gonna remake the X-Men movies, and we're gonna recast it because we want a black Wolverine and a black Professor X, and they're bringing back the X-Files show. The black guy and some fucking Puerto Rican woman or something. It's just like no one's gonna watch this. It's crap. And it's just, they think they're being clever by race switching the main characters. And this time, the Dana Scully character is going to be a black man. He's a medical doctor. And the Mulder character is a Latino woman, you know. I mean, okay, we gotta find out what's going on with the cover-ups. And, you know, they're all going to fucking hate Donald Trump and Trump, baby, you need to reopen the X Files, okay? Like seriously. It's just so fucking dumb, but it's just like, I don't know. If you didn't ever feel like a fucking extraterrestrial walking around here, I sure do. I don't, I look at all these people in the grocery store and stuff and just, I'll walk through the grocery store, just look at people and I'll go, do you think they know about Pizzagate? You think they know about Epstein Island? Do you think they know about the vaccines? There are still people wearing fucking masks, surgical masks. I saw two people, a couple in the store wearing masks. And it's just like, oh my God, like, what the fuck, people? It really is amazing. I feel like in the episodes of like Star Trek, when the people go back in time and they're just looking at and it's so bizarre. You walk around amongst the general public NPC people and understand how it's just that these people don't think. They've been programmed to not think. You accept what you're told from authority. You learn this in school. You never act up. You never question anything. And people follow direction, and they will follow directions until the very end. Okay, that leads into they just found a 7 mile long spaceship, and they've already determined it's a hostile spacecraft headed for Earth in 2024. Now, we covered this, and we cover this over and over because this is their last card. The more and more people don't watch TV, which if you're watching regular TV, it's like $1,200 a year. Direct TV, it's easily over $100 a month. So that's $1,200 a year. Who has an extra $1,200 a year to watch fucking TV? The boomer people. The boomer people are the only ones still watching the TV. Boomer people are the only ones who are in the government, in the city councils, in state and local and county governments. They're going to be the one that puts this new world order into place when this alien takes place. Now, if it's not going to be here until 2026, now you would think the scientists would know exactly when it was going to be here, but it could be summer, it could be fall, could be when the midterms start happening. We don't know, but it's on its way and it's a hostile spacecraft. It's all the final New World Order Project Blue and Trump's going to be in on it, and Russia's going to be in on it, and anyone who opposes the Jews and they don't like Israel and stuff, magically, when the day comes, they're all going to stand together against the alien spacecraft that's coming. And they've been prepping the public for this. Ronald Reagan, how funny all our differences would melt away if we were faced with a outside threat of aliens. We would all come together and be united. It's the New World Order, people. What, just because the aliens comes, we have to accept that these Jews drink blood and do animal sacrifices and torture people and commit genocide. And the aliens, I guarantee you, flip this now. These aliens, when they come, the people who they're going to talk to and have a deal with are all going to be Zionist Jew people. God's chosen people are going to be who the aliens communicate with. Now, if that doesn't make people sit back and go, it's definitely odd that you anti-God Jewish Satanist people who worship Satan and you are of the synagogue of Satan, the people who the lizard people, demons, and the black, blue, gray aliens want to talk to are these Jewish people. It's all going to be very convenient that they're going to push their final deception. The final deception is outer space, cleaning up the planet. You people are the only people. I read a thing. Where did I see that? If it was Joe Rogan or something, it was a Twitter thing, and it said, humans are the only people who still have war. And all the aliens are so invested into humans and humanity because we're the only people who still go to war with each other. And we're the only galaxy in the universe who still has war. You know what else we have other than war? Jews running our fucking reality. Now, if you don't understand that the people who are holding the technology back so that we can have free energy are these Jew people, what the fuck are you getting mad at us for polluting when you're the one holding the technology back that would stop us polluting? And when the aliens get here and start talking to you're going to say, what? It's just going to be like arguing with Grok or something. They are not going to accept anything other than whatever version of reality the Jews have given us after 1871. So the aliens will tell you, when you're Lewis and Clark came to America, and you're Christopher Columbus, you're killing blah 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 blah, and then the Civil War, you can't work together, and it's just like, shut the fuck up, you stupid motherfucking retard motherfuckers. We're sick of this deception, and the only one it's just they know the people are waking up and they are unplugging from this matrix, so they've got to grab them together, these NPC people, the last little pockets of the NPC people, in order to push their deception, get their new world order, and game over. We are really getting to the end here, and people need to understand that this final UFO shit is going to be a big thing. It's going to be like 9/11 times 10. This will be on every TV channel in every country, everywhere that has a TV or a radio, they're going to be talking about it. That's how you reprogram the psyche of the general public and the third world and the first world countries. It's all a part of the same thing. And we are getting to the end where it's almost going to be a choice for every person, but it's not going to be you got tricked into the vaccines. It's going to be very much you have to get a microchip and get into the matrix, and the aliens are going to come and they have computer simulations that are so much better than the simulations on Earth. You could be in the game, and it's like an assimilation into their hive mind, just like the Borg in Star Trek. And this is when you see it, it's there's so much evidence for it. There's so much evidence that ties in to their final deception. They've told you about this final deception since the 50s, since they did their Roswell crash. Originally, Roswell crash was going to tie into the aliens and the staged alien invasion that was supposed to take place in like 1985. So they plant these seeds in the consciousness of people to where they're going to do their Project Bluebeam in the 80s. And then it's been slowly put off and put off and put off to where after 2030, it won't work. The technology's going to be to the point where you're going to see it. So it makes sense that 2026, they're going to do their fake alien invasion Project Bluebeam thing. And then it will be a 4-year war with the aliens, much like possibly what happened in the 1870 time period. War of the Worlds and the Civil War and all this stuff. If it was a war against aliens and the government covered it up, there would be no evidence. But something has came in and slowly steered and subverted our reality into another direction. And nobody questions it, and you wouldn't think the government would cover it up, but the government covers up everything. If they covered up Roswell, they'll cover up Chicago being completely destroyed by giant robots with laser beams, or flying Zeppelin machines with laser beams and super, super advanced high technology, like from Star Wars type technology. And it's gonna seem so overwhelming when it happens. But you watch when the aliens come and start blowing up cities. Which cities they're blowing up? They're not gonna blow up any smart cities. They're gonna blow up the remaining old world cities in order to put the final cover up and the final great reset for the 2045 event. So I would imagine from 2030 all the people are going to be fully depopulated. All of the major cities are going to be hit, nuked, and bombed out, and all this stuff. Where you're going to be in a apocalypse type situation for 10 years, 10 to 15 years, where you get to 2045 and they start to repopulate the population with clones from the DNA they collected from the nasal swab tests and all this stuff, and they can fully repopulate, they can change the history, they can make it whatever year they want to make it. It could be 1700 again, it could be 2050, it could be 1850. Okay. And when you program a million NPC people to all say the exact same things, like in the Island movie. They all say the exact same thing. And if you're a person who questions it, they remove you, they'll put you in one of their mental institutions, they'll MK Ultra you, they'll reprogram your subconscious and get you back into the world as an NPC person. It seems far out there, but the more you research and understand this information, the more it's truthful, and it sounds like this is what these people have done, and this is what these people are going to do. And the aliens always come from galaxies. They don't come from a landmass 1,000 miles that way, or something over the ice wall. And that's how you know it's a Jewish satanic conception. Because when the Nazi Party had their factions break apart, where the Nazi National Zionist people all got away and converted themselves into NATO and the United States. The other Germans broke away from that. The German nationalist people wanted Germany for Germany and all that stuff. They are the ones who went across the ice wall to New Schwabenland and started a breakaway civilization, which breakaway civilization isn't a highly advanced civilization. It is advanced, but it's all technology from before these resets took place. Which the technology is the same when you understand the power source of the ether, if you understand the natural cures and all this stuff, and you understand that the people in charge after 1871 have just completely inverted everything into a bad satanic copy of what existed before. Okay, let me check over here and make sure we didn't forget anything. What else? I've been watching the new Dexter show. It's pretty good. Dexter Resurrection. I've been digging that. That was actually a pretty good show. The Dexter show in general is really good. It kind of fell off if you watch the original at the end, but the prequel show they came back with, Original Sin, was pretty good. And I'm digging that. Because we need more people out killing pedophiles and murderers and stuff because the government seems to be working with these people and helping them. And that's going to be the end of the final conception is you're going to learn the government is there to keep you in line if you're a white person who pays their taxes. That's who they want to keep you in control. If you're outside of that, they're not going to do anything. They're not solving any murders. They're not worried about Pizzagate murders and all these 800,000 children going missing. They're covering that shit up. So when you turn away from 800,000 kids every year being murdered and harvested for adrenochrome and all this shit, what's the government doing? They're not doing that because, their number one ally is Israel and they need the blood for their rituals. They need the blood for their gods. It's the same as the fucking Aztec worshiping the feathered serpents and all this shit and cutting out 50,000 hearts a day, on their pyramids and throwing their heads down the stairs. This is the same kind of Epstein Pizzagate shit we're dealing with. And the government is complicit. The government that we have might as well be the Aztec government of 1500 whatever. And and people do not want to admit any of this is true. When it's so obvious that every single remake they make is just black people, black women, minorities, people of color, diversity. Look how diverse everything is. And you see a white guy and he's a faggot. Every white guy on TV is a faggot, you know. You watch the commercials, the man is doing the laundry and mopping the floor, and the woman is, he's gonna clean the gutters out. He's gonna mow the grass, and you're busy in the house doing ironing, and it's just like, what the fuck, people? You like this bizarro civilization where everyone is above you? This country was built by the inspiration and creativity of the whites. And now they're just, hey, we don't need you anymore, white people. We're going to reimagine the thing that you created and just gender swap and race swap the characters. And then we're going to pat ourselves on the back and take a vacation. I just don't understand why people don't see it, and it's because they don't want to see it. They don't want to admit that they've wasted their lives conforming to civilization that has now flipped its script on them and fucking hates their guts because of their skin color. And we're not racist. We were racist in the 60s during the civil rights movement. We're not racist now, except towards white people. Everyone in the country, everyone in the world, everyone throughout our realm, they fucking hate white people. Not Jews who are white. No, the Jews are in a special category where the only white-skinned people who are accepted are Jewish, Zionist people. Where if you're Christian with white skin, you're openly attacked, ridiculed, and subverted by these people. And your history books have been written by these Zionist people who have made every white person the biggest enemy ever. When you look into it, the most evil white people in history were Jewish. The communists, Mao Zedong, had like 4 Jewish advisors. Adolf Hitler and all his Nazis, it's all Jewish people. You can look it up and it's proven, but they still love Hitler. They think he's great because he stood up against the Jews. And it's just like, it's got to be controlled opposition because you can disprove their claims so easily. You can disprove everything with their symbols and their symbolism. But it just, they can't see it because they are getting paid. They were facing a 10-year prison sentence or something. And, well, we can get you down to 16 months. And when you get out, we're going to give you a stipend and a weekly paycheck. And all we want you to do is be super pro Nazi. Be Nazi. Talk about how bad the Jews are. And then you get a Stu Peters guy or a Handsome Truth guy. I mean, there's so much feds. When you see it and you understand it. Feds and all these people. They want to tell you about all this shit that happened in history after 1871. So that's the only version of reality they're allowed to talk about. The post 1871 world of Zionist control, and look how bad it is. While we're going right into this Jewish New World Order, and there is not a lot being done to stop it because no one can admit they're wrong. The boomers control everything. You'll never find a boomer who apologizes for completely fucking over the American dream. Their kids, their kids, the generations to come will never had it as good as the boomers had. You'll never be able to buy a 4-bedroom house on a 1-acre lot and start a family. You live in an apartment. You drive a pre-owned car. You have no money. You have no savings. You have no way of getting out. You can't move. To move somewhere, you need first and last month's rent. Well, fuck, today that's $4,000. You got an extra $4,000? You're paycheck to paycheck. You can barely afford to buy cereal at $7 a box. A carton of eggs for $6, a gallon of milk for $6, a loaf of kitty processed bread for $6. Everything is fucking $6. And that adds up. I went to the store this morning. I got a pound and a half of fish from Mr. Sacabello's baked fish dish. That's what I'm having tonight. So thank you, Mr. Sacabello, for coming up with a recipe to fill my belly with goodness. And I got a thing of tartar sauce, $7. I had to get breadcrumbs. That was $4. And it's just, you get a bottle of whiskey, that's $20. You get a bottle of wine, that's $10. That's like one or a couple days, 70 fucking dollars for nothing. And it's just like, fuck. Are they trying to fucking piss people off? Because the people are so disconnected. And that is a byproduct of the vaccines, is your head is filled with thick blood. And you're not getting oxygen and you're not thinking very good. And they're just, I don't know. It's all like if you play like a Grand Theft Auto or something, and too many real players are in the lobby, the NPCs and the graphics are to glitch, and things don't run right. And it's almost like they've killed off so many NPCs with their vaccines, and the real people, their consciousness gets stronger and stronger. And it's fucking up the code of reality to the point where things are going to accelerate so quickly. I mean, it seems like the aliens are going to be here in 2026. They're going to have to do this sooner because if they're going to be here in 2026, wouldn't you be able to see that it's a spaceship and not a rock by now? And it's like, well, the only way they can create shit is with AI. And the AI would figure out that it's AI and not real. So they have to be very careful with their deceptions because it's just like the moon landing. The moon landing got by everyone because the technology was so shitty. And it was grainy. You're calling from the moon onto the telephone? Oh, well, it's a radio call that got broadcasted to NASA, and then we piped it through, and there's no delay or anything? Well, now you look at it back, and it's just like completely fucking fake. And you know, you don't think Elon and Trump are into the deception of outer space with their fucking rockets and all this shit? The only country that's worried about the International Space Station is America. I mean, it's just so fucking stupid. But the general public is so fucking stupid. So it's just like stupid shit for stupid people. And that's where we're at in reality. Okay, that's a good place to stop. It is August 1st. We got a month and a half of summer left. I think September 23rd is like autumn's here. But summer's over. I didn't even set my pool up this year. It's been, usually I live in Northern California, and it's like over 100 from the end of June till the end of September. It's like 100 fucking degrees plus every goddamn day. Lately, it's been like 85, 90. Not hot at all. So I didn't set my pool up, but I'm thinking it's going to be a real harsh winter, and I'll have to start getting firewood ready to go, and that'll be my September job. I also have to put a roof on my house before the rain comes, and that'll be a video. I'll do a video on that. That should be kind of fun. So, guys, I don't know. I want to leave people on a good note, but God, it's just, I don't know. I try to get this information out. It doesn't seem to go anywhere. It just doesn't go anywhere. I've been posting back on YouTube. YouTube seems to have lightened up on their restrictions because I've been I put a PIZZAGATE video up. It went through. I've been putting cloning videos up. It goes through. I've been putting up flat earth videos and stuff and it goes through. So I don't know if we're sticking under the algorithms or what, but look on YouTube. I got a lot more stuff on YouTube. I got more on Rumble. I'm putting more on Patreon. Please join me on Patreon. It does help to let me know that people are watching this and engaging with it. That's about it. So, for Modern American Gangster, for news and current events, we'll see you guys next time.